Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Brother John Hargrove. I serve as president for UNIA-ACL Division 421 here in Atlanta. Tonight is July 28th, 2024. It's 5:15 p.m. And this is our mass meeting, second mass meeting for the month of July. Starting my YouTube live. Okay. So welcome. First thing we do, as we used to call a quorum and call to order and quorum, first thing we do is pledge to our UNIA flag. So if you would, please come off mute, put your black fist in the air, say this along with me. As we say, I pledge to the red, black, and green flag. I commit my body, mind, and spirit to the protection and security of the red, black, and green. I dedicate my life, redemption of Mother Africa, and the liberation of her scattered black children. I accept for myself and my descendants the teachings of universal African nationalism. And I promise that our children will still purpose and knowledge themselves as African people. Of our struggle,
in order that the cause of our struggle
will neither
falter nor fail until all black people are free and united through one God, one aim, one destiny.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll go through our rituals briefly to open up the meeting. First is the opening hymn from Greenland's Icy Mountain. From Greenland's icy mountain, from India's coral strand, from where Africa's sunny fountains roll down their golden sand. From many ancient rivers, from many palmy plains, they called us to deliver their land from error's chain. Shall we whose souls are lighted with wisdom from on high, shall we to men benighted the lamp of life deny? Salvation, O salvation, the joyful sound proclaim till earth's remotest nation has learned Messiah's name. Waft, waft, ye winds, his story, and you, ye waters, roll, till like a sea of glory it spreads from pole to pole. Till o'er our ransomed nation, the Lamb for sinners slain, the Redeemer, King, Creator, in bliss returns to reign. Prayer for tonight. I'll read. A brief prayer, if you would. You can assume a position of prayer. Almighty God, whose kingdom is everlasting and power infinite, be gracious unto the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and so rule the hearts of thy servants, the President General and the members of the High Executive Council, and all others in authority, that they, knowing the great responsibilities of their office, may above all things seek the honor and welfare of this race. And grant that our people, considering the authority they bear, may faithfully and obediently honor them. Honor them in accordance with our laws, through Jesus Christ our Lord, who with thee and the Holy Ghost liveth and reigneth ever, one God, one world, without end. Amen. All right. Ashe. Last, we close out with shine on eternal light, to greet our souls this day, dispel the gloominess of night, and drive our doubts away. Our longing eye prepare, when war and strife shall cease, to view the morn soon to appear, the new era of peace. Thy glorious church, O God, no kingdom can remove, made without hands, this blessed abode, the harbinger of love. Of all the gifts that flow from thy great throne above, we ask thee on our hearts bestow the gift of perfect love. My soul the light receives and dares the truth to prove, not in blind ignorance believes, but knows that God is love. Come love and give new birth to man's destructive mind. Spread where confusion reigns on earth, goodwill to all mankind. Shine on, eternal light, thy penetrating ray shall turn the hour of darkest night into eternal day. Amen. Ashe. Okay, that takes care of our opening rituals. Brief roll call. Looks like it'll be very brief this evening. Got a light crew coming out of July. I have myself, Brother John, President. We have our recording secretary, Brother Art, our second lady vice president, Sister Cecily, our second male vice president, Brother Malik, and our financial secretary in training, Brother Najee, as well as his queen, Sister Brittany. We also have our counsel general, Attorney Imhotep, have our longtime supporter and member, Baba James, member Division 421, and another longtime supporter member out of Brooklyn, Dr. Shams, which makes 9 total on the call. So thank you, everyone. Ground rules for the conference call. Please keep your lines muted when you're not speaking. When you do have a chance to speak, try to keep your comments limited to about 3 minutes so that everyone can share. Please keep a pen and paper to take notes so that when you do have a chance to speak, you'll have those notes. Sisters, don't give out your personal contact. If you have a business line or a email, prefer that you give that out. Do not use the N-word, and have a good time and have fun. Okay, so that takes care of ground rules and preamble. Okay. So preamble, Universal Negro Improvement Association, this comes from our Constitution. Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League is a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational, institutional, constructive, and expansive society, and is founded by persons desiring to the utmost to work for the general uplift of the Negro peoples of the world, and the members pledge themselves to do all in their power to conserve the rights of their noble race and to respect the rights of all mankind, believing always in the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. The motto of the organization is one God, one aim, one destiny. Therefore, let justice be done to all mankind, realizing that if the strong oppresses the weak, confusion and discontent will ever mark the path of man, but with love, faith, and charity towards all, the reign of peace and plenty will be heralded into the world, and the generations of men shall be called blessed. Okay, that takes care of our opening exercises, more priorities. Brother Art, would you happen to have any minutes from the 14th?
Yeah. The 14th minutes are called to order at 5 o'clock. 5:15, we open with the pledge, the hymns, and the Lord's Prayer. 5:20, we read the previous minutes, and the 5:25, the preamble was read. Proceeding to the 5:30, proceeding to the topics introduced by questions on Chapter 1 review of the Living for the Propriety intro is read for Chapter 1. And that was for Race First, and the intro to the new members who were coming in. 6:25, questions were requested. 6:30, Declaration of Rights, reviewed as the intro, some of the things to keep in mind are pointed out for the newcomers. 637, a brief outlook on the course of the Race First, to inform all of what the discussion was about, and several questions were read. Sister Zafia says she was waiting on the history of the Mali Empire. Sister Zafia is from Division 106, and she wasn't there at the beginning of the discussion. Okay, then we went at 7 o'clock, we went to Officer's Share. Diane asked for attendance to join the course on Tuesdays. That was the course on the Race First study from Dr. Tony Martin's book. President John gives an update on the Garvey Day location. Sister Cicely expressed her like of tonight's meeting, updates on her sewing class. John reads from the, hold on, I need to get my glasses. John needs to read on the documents of the founding of the Constitution class. And in August, the general laws in the Constitution class will be revisited. Then we close with the anthem, the Ethiopian anthem. And that's what I have, Brother John.
Excellent notes, Brother Art. I motion that we approve the minutes of July 14th, add those to our records. Officers, Brother Malik.
Second.
Thank you, Sister Cecily. Brother Malik.
What's up?
Just need the rubber stamp on voting for minutes for the previous meeting. Brother Art just read them. Vote that we approve them for our records.
Yeah, I accept.
Thank you, Brother Malik. Attorney Motep, we good?
Yes.
All right. I think that's any other officers did not get a chance to give input on our previous meeting minutes. Brother Najee, I know we in training, if you'd like to say something or give any input. Okay. Thank you, Brother Art. I'd like to keep that continuity. I forgot exactly what we had discussed last meeting, but Race First was the topic. And I think we read the introduction. So yeah, Race First has been a big focus for the division as of recently. Sister Diane, our First Lady Vice President. Brother Najee, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm driving Florida, but I do agree with the minutes. But yeah, I'm still listening.
Got you. Thank you, my brother. I remember you said that you were traveling this weekend. Yeah, focus on the road. Thank you, my brother. Okay. What was I saying?
Hey, Brother John.
Yes, sir.
can I get a minute? I'm gonna start. Can I record this meeting for my notes?
Yeah, you have a separate recorder?
Yeah, I got a little one of those portable recorders.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I just want to, be official.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that whatever it takes. We got all this technology. Let's use it. So I try to record. Well, I do. We record our meetings, and I try to go back and watch them. Well, I do watch all of them before we share them. But we've been having so many meetings, study groups, the spiritual groups, business meeting, Black Cross Church. We were doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up, and then I got the UAL and whatever the Secretary General meetings, and it gets a bit much, man. And
yeah,
I'm just trying to keep up. That's all.
I got you. Like I said, as far as priority, mass meetings is a big priority.
Yeah, well, 421 comes first to me, so
but
in my thinking.
Even with 421, there's a level of priority. So mass meetings are very critical. That's where we discuss a lot of our key items and events and planning. So those are very important. Executive meetings are very important. Study groups, obviously, no, that's not as important. Business meeting, somebody else should be doing that for business meeting, and spiritual meeting, that's not required. So it's really just mass meeting and executive meeting for the local division.
Okay, race first, brother.
Race first. All right. Topic for tonight is 5 requirements to establish a government. Any questions or comments before we go into tonight's topic? Okay. And the reason why we discuss this going into the month of August. The next time we'll have a meeting will be second Sunday in August. But we should know the history and the importance and the significance of the month of August. And that is kind of what the 5 requirements to establish a government partially encapsulates the importance of the events that took place in August. So this information comes from the first International Convention of the Negro Peoples of the World, held from August 1st to August 31st, 1920, in Harlem, New York, primarily. And again, we're talking about the 5 requirements to establish a government. The first requirement is a plebiscite. And let me back out because I'm gonna need to, I want us to know exactly what these terms are. So I'm gonna look up plebiscite. Save that, close that. Share, no. Plebiscite, quick Google search. The direct vote of all members of an electorate of an important public question, such as change in the Constitution. Let's see. Hope plebiscite definition and meaning. Vote by which the people of an entire country or district express an opinion for or against a proposal, especially a choice of government or ruler. And that's how we understand it. Plebiscite is when we as a people came together and declared that we wish to govern ourselves. We were not happy with the, hold on, give me 1 second. My apologies. But yeah, when we come together as a people, as a society, and make a public declaration, that is a plebiscite. And that is the first thing that we did to establish our government of the UNIA in 1920. Got me running up and down the stairs. Okay. Second requirement of a government is a declaration. We are all familiar with the Declaration of Independence. I was going to say Declaration of Rights. Declaration of Independence of the United States. But in addition to, or sometimes simultaneous with a plebiscite, comes a declaration. So it's the written document that states why you are making the claim that you made during the plebiscite of wishing to govern yourself. You're not happy with the government of the current rulership. So Declaration of Rights details the complaints that you have, as well as the declarations of how you plan to resolve those complaints. So for us, that is the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World, ratified August 13th, 1920. So I'll pull that up briefly. Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. I know some of us have seen this several times, as we should. But the document consists of preamble to the document itself, complaints, 12 complaints, and then 54 declarations, of which can be summarized in the last few declarations, or the last one, and there's a brief summary at the end. We want all men to know that we shall maintain and contend for the freedom and equality of every man, woman, and child of our race, with our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. These rights we believe to be justly ours and proper for the protection of the Negro race at large. And because of this, we, on behalf of the 400 million Negroes of the world, do pledge herein the sacred blood of the race in defense. And we hereby subscribe our names as a guarantee of the truthfulness and faithfulness thereof, in the presence of Almighty God, on this 13th day of August in the year of our Lord 1920. So in addition to making your public declaration, there should be there will be a public document. And that public document will basically state what you mentioned verbally, that we wish to govern ourselves. We wish to defend ourselves. Third requirement to establish government will be a flag. And Dr. Tony Martin teaches us that also an anthem, which we also have. August 15th, 1920 is what we teach here at Division 421. Some people will say August 13th, but in between August 13th and August 15th, the red, black, and green flag was officially unveiled to the world. And we should also know that there's an anthem to our flag, the Ethiopian national anthem, which we play at the end of our meetings. A flag and an anthem are symbols of a nation. And with that, let me briefly see. I didn't have that prepared, but we're all Garveyites here. We love Garvey, so we're going to hear from Mr. Garvey. Oh, I got my Kindle. Yeah, I got Kindle. In regards to a flag and government, so I'm going to message to the people, course of African philosophy. I'll let y'all walk with me. Just look up the word flag. Bow. The flag of a nation is the emblem that signifies the existence of that nation. So a flag is the symbol that exemplifies the existence of a nation. Have your flag. It is red, black, and green. Be proud of it, for it is the emblem of your race. When other too much over here. When other nations exhibit theirs, exhibit yours. Make songs about your nation and sing them. Write poetry about your nation and read it, recite it. Glorify your nation in music and songs. Don't sing the songs of other races. Don't recite the inspirational poems of other races. Sing and recite your own. And one of the things in the history of the UNIA that it talks about that we should promote and remind our people of in regards to when people ask what the UNIA has done for our race or for our people, Mr. Garvey says that we should remind them that the UNIA gave the Negro a national flag and a national hymn. So one of the requirements of a government, when you look at all governments and nations in the world, one of the things that you will see is a flag. So again, just to recap, all nations have had to verbally state that they wish to come together and be a nation. All nations have had to document that claim, and that's usually associated with some date or, as of July 20th, 1914 for us. The UNIA is in existence. Our Constitution goes back to July 18th, but for other nations, as of September 4th, 1642, I'm just making up a number. This nation is in existence, but there's a document, there's a declaration that says this nation is in existence that people can share, and it's usually publicly accessible because it's a public declaration. Flag and an anthem. Every nation that you see, every government that you see has a flag and usually has an anthem. They may not have an anthem, but we as a UNIA, that's something that we should be proud of. Not only do we have a flag, but we have an anthem to go with that flag. So all melanated people throughout the world, if they do not feel respected or recognized, or if they don't feel united with the flag that they're being colonized under. And usually that's the only flag that we have a choice to wave, whether it's Jamaica, well, say Dominican Republic, the flag of the nation is the flag of the colonizer, United States. The flag of the United States is the flag of the colonizer. So for melanated people in these lands, until Mr. Garvey brought the red, black, and green flag, there was nothing that we had that we felt that represented us, because we knew how the United States was treating us. We knew how the United States felt and thought behind the red, black, and green flag. So it would be hypocritical for many of us to feel proud and supportive of that flag. So Mr. Garvey and the UNIA rectified that situation through the red, black, and green flag. Second. Fourth requirement of a government is a constitution. And we have our constitution as of 1918. One thing that we should know, one thing we should look at and be aware of with our constitution when we read it, let's see. Constitution and Book of Laws. What is the Constitution and Book of Laws made for? Who is it made for? It is made for the government. The government of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. Negro Improvement Association. So they got to put the add in there. And African Communities League, effective July 1918. So this Constitution just separates us from an organization. We're not just, a book club. We're not just a gun club. We're not just an investment group. We are, once we start to utilize and understand the Constitution and implement our Constitution, that's when we begin to function as a government. So the Constitution, we should know, as it states, and as it has always stated, Constitution was made for the government of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, in effect, July 1918. But again, public declarations, there's dates, there's, these things are, it's not, as Brother Massey would say, I forgot the term that he would use, but we're not hiding what we're doing. We're being open. We're being public about what we're doing. So it's a much different thing than hiding and saying that you are certain things versus publicly stating what you are and what you believe. So fourth requirement was a constitution given to us in 1918. And the fifth requirement is recognition from other governments. This is something that takes a little bit more research, but as we've read in Race First Study Group, Dr. Tony Martin teaches us that, and we should know, based on the record, there were several divisions of the UNIA outside of the United States. And we had relationships with all of these countries and nations. UNIA was well recognized, whether it be Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya, Julius Nyerere in Tanzania. I can't think of all the leaders off the top of my head, but UNIA was well recognized by other governments in other nations. So any questions, comments on the 5 requirements to establish a government and the 5 requirements completed by the UNIA in the first International Convention of August 1920?
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes, at that time, I believe the what we have now is the United Nations, which is a collection of participating countries that come together to formulate certain rights, privileges, laws, and regulations, rules, what have you. Yes. It was called the League of Nations at that time, and around 1940, 1945, it became the United Nations, and they simplified things as far as one having or becoming a government. You can even be a self-government now, according to international human rights laws and the United Nations Declaration of Indigenous Rights as well. Put together by indigenous people and put together by the various participating countries of the world. Not all countries are assigned or belong or have standard membership, but they are recognized by the United Nations, but not all participate in the various aspects or decisions or any association with the United Nations. Some countries abstain from joining the United Nations because they feel that they will be restricted or they don't have the right representation, or the United Nations is not for them and is not with them. Several countries of Africa, I believe, are like that. You know, not all countries in Africa, I believe, or different parts of the world also have association or membership in the United Nations, even though they are recognized as being sovereign nations, even not participating because of the rights established by international human rights recognition, as well as the Declaration of Rights of Indigenous Peoples given established by the United Nations, which is an instrument of the United Nations as well. All this information is found on my website also. Not Helpful USA Legislation, people.braystate.com. Peace and race first.
Sure, race first, Dr. Shams. Thank you. Anyone else? In regards to the League of Nations, okay. We understand, well, I'm not going to go too deep into it. We understand the evolution or the relationship between the League of Nations and the United Nations. When the Declarations of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World was written, and let's go there since we're talking, yeah, we might as well. We're talking about the 5 requirements. We talked about the Declaration of Rights. One of the declarations, Declaration 54, stated, "Be it resolved that we as a race of people declare that the League of Nations null and void as far as the Negro is concerned, and that it seeks to deprive the Negro of their liberty." So in 1920, our mentality was the League of Nations null and void. But by 1921, 1922, we were sending delegates to the United Nations, or was it League of Nations still at that time? I'm not sure. But we were still working to have some sort of recognition. However, I would question that strategy today, because the Organization of African Unity wasn't in existence in Mr. Garvey's time. And I would argue we should prioritize recognition from the OAU before recognition from United Nations.
Raise first.
Raise first, Dr. Shams.
I agree. You basically said the same thing I was trying to explain.
Yes,
I agree. Raise first.
Any other questions, comments on 5 requirements to establish your government?
Great insight. Raise first.
Raise first.
Yeah, did you say this was presented to the OAU?
No, I did not. I said,
okay.
No. We presented ourselves to the, I got to double check whether it was the League of Nations or United Nations. We went over it in race first, but we presented ourselves to that body. We were approved for 1 year, but the following year we were rejected. Our seat was rejected. So, yeah, we presented ourselves to that body.
Race first. Greetings, everybody. Which body did you present? Did we present ourselves to, President John? Is it to the Organization of African Union?
No, it was. I'm not sure if it was the League of Nations or the United Nations.
And if we are establishing ourselves as a government, where do we fall? Do we fall under getting recognition from the United Nations or the OAU? And what is going through my mind is we are for Africans at home and abroad. So the government that we establish, where would it be situated and who is it covering? Is it covering only Negro African Americans, or is it covering Africans in Africa as well? How do we, how do we actually present ourselves as this government that, the red and black and green? Who are we standing for? Is it only for African Americans? And do we only want the government here in America, or do we want a global government that is, because it's Africans at home and abroad?
Yes, great question, Dr. Kuda. I can't wait till we start our next course of African philosophy. A lot of those questions are answered there. I'll give you the answers. We are working for Africans at home and abroad. Our home base or headquarters, according to Mr. Garvey, should be on the continent of Africa. We will have a sovereign nation on the continent of Africa, and that will be the headquarters to represent Africans at home and abroad. We will have ambassadors and embassies all throughout the world that would interact with each of these independent nations. I forgot your other part of your question, but we would represent Africans at home and Africans abroad. And Mr. Garvey was seeking recognition from the United Nations. The way it's explained in Race First, his argument was the same argument that we have now. The Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League represents all nations. I mean, all Negroes throughout the world, and that is what Mr. Garvey told the League of Nations and the United Nations, that the Universal Negro Improvement Association represents all Negroes, or Africans, or melanated people.
Thank you very much. I'm satisfied with your responses. It helps me, to set my radar in my medulla oblongata. Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you very, very much. Now, I'm like ready to work. I think we are really lagging behind. We've got so many Africans all over the world, and if there is the UNIA government to take care of our people, like I said previously, I'm out in Virginia, and the person I'm working for was very abrupt with me over the phone a couple of days ago, and I'm like, no, those days are gone, the days of slavery. So our people need to be protected. I can speak up for myself. I even wrote a letter and I can take it further. But there's people who are going through this kind of horror, our people, day in, day out, and we are non-existent to protect them. So we really are lagging behind. We need to get ourselves there. We really need to start getting our government back in action. Thank you very much, Brother Joe.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Kuda. Any other questions, comments on 5 requirements to establish a government?
Race first. Yes. Not all countries in Africa are recognize themselves. Not that they are not recognized, but they don't recognize themselves as being anything other than European control, Euro Africans or whatever. But the term Pan-African, which applies here, I believe, it includes all of us as one people, like Brother John was saying.
Yes, sir.
I agree with him. Peace and race first. You as far as the League of Nations and United Nations, to be certain on that, either do a Google search or ask our constitutional attorney, Brother Imhotep Akibalan. He may know the answers on that one. Peace and race first.
It's first. Yes, to my knowledge, again, in regards to our approach to larger bodies such as the League of Nations, United Nations, I have to find the information in race first, but Mr. Garvey was arguing to be able to reclaim the lands on the continent that were under European control, because World War I had ended, and Mr. Garvey felt that the lands that had been taken over or colonized by Europeans should be given back to Africans, and that's what the UNIA was attempting to represent that claim. That to my knowledge, that was the argument.
Race first. Go into the information that I know you have of those who oppose our being in government, because that is what I'm talking about as well. But it includes all of us. The intention was to include all of us, but some of us stand against our own selves.
Yes, sir.
Peace and race first.
Okay. If there aren't any other comments on tonight's topic, we will move to officer reports, 6 o'clock. So good timing. We'll move to officer reports and kind of officer attendance as well. Something we need to be aware of. So first, I would call on our lady president. She does not appear to be present, and does not look like our first lady vice president, Sister Diane, is here either. Brother Malik, or first vice president, Brother Macius. So officers, again, availability is our best ability. If we can, do rocket science, but if we're not here to contribute that rocket science, what's the value of it? And does anyone know, again, anyone that's read Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy, what does Mr. Garvey say is the value of knowledge?
Basically to put it to use.
The value of knowledge is to use it. Yes. So if we're not here, if we're not available, how can we put our skills and resources to use? So thank you to those that are here, but I do, officers, leaders, we got to step up. Ross Marvin did reach out to me. He is out of the country, taking care of some things, and but he gave a heads up. Brother Eric is not here either, so it is what it is. Executive meeting is first Saturday of next month. Let me see, what day is that? What number is that? So that'll be August 3rd. This coming Saturday, we have executive meeting. So we'll be looking for updates from everybody from each office, expectations, and yeah, Garvey Day will be the focus. But beyond Garvey Day, what are our plans? Brother Malik, you would be next officer up. Anything that you want to share? Anything we need to be aware of? Any concerns? Any update?
I want to acknowledge Brother Najee for representing us at the Black Family Day, and Sister Cecily and her family for helping out for cleaning up the shrine and get it together for Garvey Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Malik. Yes, thank you for that reminder, Brother Najee, as well as I believe I saw his queen was there with him. I saw the pictures, so thank you for that. That's very important, very big. Again, availability. I got some texts from individuals talking about, and Baba James, it's not you. We gotta, I like what we were doing, working towards. We'll talk about that as well. But getting texts from people talking about we need to have in-person meetings. But when we do have events or meetings and people are not showing up, it's like, what are we doing? So, thank you, Brother Najee, Sister Brittany, Brother Malik, as well, Sister Cecily. Been doing a great job of representing in the community. Baba James as well has been supporting with the preparations.
Oh yeah, my bad, Baba James. But yeah, he was out there too helping.
So thank you. And on that, we were supposed to have do some chipper work Saturday morning. At the end of the day, it didn't work out, and they are planning to reschedule to Tuesday at 12. So I'm going to try to make myself available Tuesday at 12. Anyone else that can come out to the Shrine of Black Madonna, preparing to chip some wood branches, turn them into mulch, and kind of get the grounds ready for Garvey Day. But
Brother John.
prepare to get your hands dirty. Brother Najee, yes.
What date is that? You said
This coming Tuesday. This coming Tuesday. 12 o'clock at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, Ralph David Abernathy. But yeah, thank you to everyone that's been stepping up. All right, thank you, Brother Malik, and Brother Malik, thank you as well. I know you're recovering, but you've still been available. So doing a great job, and thank you for everything that you're doing. All right, that is our male vice president's sister, lady vice president, Sister Cecily. Anything that you have, anything that we need to be aware of? I know that they had the sewing thing today. It was raining real bad, and I had to get ready for this meeting. So I'm gonna try to catch next week.
Okay. Yes. I'm just really excited about Garvey Day. I'm really happy that things worked out and we're able to use the shrine. Praise God. And also, I'm looking forward to being able to sell some treats at Garvey Day. So, President John, I need some space to do that.
Okay. You mean like some space for yourself and for yourself?
No, it's gonna be like for the UNIA.
Oh, all right, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We got you. We got a nice. We'll talk about. We got a good amount of space. So you'll be fine.
Okay.
But thank you for that. Thank you for letting me know. So, and all right, thank you for that. Anything else, Sister Cecily?
Race first. No, race first.
Okay. So yeah, we'll have spiritual study group Monday. I expect to have race first study group Tuesday. Business meeting Thursday. On behalf of our first vice president, since he's not here, we've been looking at what was he? Credit. So we're looking at each of our officers, trying to get our officers credit stabilized or in a better position at the end of the day. So we're coming together this coming Thursday with a kind of report. Each of us will have an individual report on some of the things that we all need to focus on to build our credit. And it's kind of like a credit group at this point. And we'll support each other, help each other to track as we build our credit and prepare for larger business endeavors. Brother Malik, is there anything I'm missing on the business discussions, Sister Cecily?
No, it's just the Operation Hope that I put in the chat.
Yes, sir.
During that, but other than that, no, we just need to get a singular focus and then do the proper steps.
Yes, sir. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a lot of ideas on the table that we've been discussing for some months. Feels like years, but we're trying to get some focus. So,
Yes.
thank you, Brother Malik, for that reminder.
Can I say one more thing, President John?
Yes, Sister Cecily.
I want to say thank you for reaching out to the parent body about those constitutions. And I'm hoping they get back with us really soon.
Thank you for that reminder. Yes, and I'm glad I copied you all on that. But I'm gonna speak. We speak with them.
Yeah, because I didn't see a response unless they replied straight to you.
No, they haven't responded yet. So I talked with them first Wednesday is our national call. So I'll mention it on that call. But we do need them for Garvey Day. When people sign up, I feel like that's one of the most important things that we owe them, especially if they're paying the $10 joining fee. They should understand, like as we just talked about, the Constitution is very important. It's the function, how this government functions, that's listed in the Constitution. So need them for Garvey Day. I wanted to send out the email with a little bit of time prior to that phone call, so that on that phone call, we can say, hey, we sent that email a week and a half ago. What's the status of our Constitution? So that was the thinking behind that, as well as just we need them, and it's important. So just make sure y'all stay on top of that. And when we try to keep that on the notes for our president's call. Make sure that is discussed.
Yes, President John, I did see a response to your request for constitutions. The Secretary General responded that she hadn't gotten from Division 421 any list of new members. And so she was asking to get that list to her first before they sent out any new constitution.
Is that really what she said?
Yeah. I want to say it was a head count given.
Yeah. Didn't you put a list in the email?
That's what I'm pretty sure. I don't want to have to.
You did.
That you wanted to share from the office standpoint?
No, I don't have anything to share this.
I am looking at doing, I'm looking at doing a little brief Constitution refresher in the month of August on the Saturdays, probably just the first and second Saturday, just for anyone that wants a refresher prior to convention. But we'll start at the I think it's the general laws, the second section after the Constitution. But okay. Who's that?
I said, yeah, I would like to have the refresher.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Brother Naj. And that's you. Honestly, you're really the main reason why I'm doing it. You're going to convention, so you should understand, what the purpose is of convention, and also gives anyone else an opportunity. We'll share with other divisions if they would like to participate, but want to at least give you a grounding of what to expect for convention. Okay. Any other officers that would like to share anything that we're missing? Any questions for our officers?
Yeah, President John.
Yes, sir, Brother Art.
I would like to, for the newsletter, if I can get some updates on things that members would like to go into the newsletter, to come out on a Saturday or a Sunday, so I can put them in for the next newsletter coming out. You understand what I'm saying?
You're asking for input on what,
like the topics, or if anybody has anything going on in their discipline that they might want to put into the newsletter.
I got you. I got you. I mean, as of right now, I think we got to get more organized. Honestly, that's why I like our programs, weekly programs. That can be something that we would, advertise in the newsletter. Hey, join our business meeting this coming Thursday. Join our Race First study group this coming Tuesday. Those types of things. But I think we got to be more consistent on the officers' side, as we promote. So just hold tight. I do have some things that I can share on behalf of us as a whole. So I'll share some of that now. It's just a couple programs, honestly. So, but
okay,
Yeah, Brother John.
Yes, sir.
Check your email. I just sent you a PDF. It's something that I came up with years ago, and this goes with what you the topic of tonight, because I had an outline of nation building sciences as far as building a nation, the stuff that we need.
Yeah.
And I just sent you a PDF of that.
Is that something that you want me to share?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Well,
I know we've gotten off of. I just got in here to my big computer to get to it, but I know we've gotten off topic now. But if you wanted to skim it before presenting it, or you can go ahead and present it.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me. I guess a couple things that we had that I was trying to share as far as the report. I'm trying to think of the order to do it.
Okay, it doesn't have to be right now, President John. You can share it with me anytime. Okay.
No, it was part of tonight's report anyway.
Okay.
So the first thing I think, as far as relevance, would be, we've got the UNIA did release an official statement in regards to the Sonya Massey incident. So, sorry, I'm trying to move my phone to get out. So this came from, and again, this is fresh, posted yesterday, July 27th. This is on the UNIA website, or it can be found on the UNIA website. Post by Brother Everett Winchester, who holds the Office of Minister of Information for the UNIA-ACL High Executive Council, also President, UNIA-ACL Baltimore 106. Official UNIA-ACL statement on Sonya Massey shooting. On July 6th, 36-year-old Black female named Sonya Massey was shot and killed in her home by a white deputy named Sean Grayson, and of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office in Woodside Township near Springfield, Illinois. Miss Massey had placed a 911 call about possible prowler on her property. Officer Grayson and an unidentified deputy conducted a search around Mrs. Massey's property before entering her home. Once entering the home, Deputy Grayson directed Massey to check on the boiling pot of water on her stove. Things became more intense as Deputy Grayson screaming he would shoot Mrs. Massey in the effing face. Deputy Grayson then shot Massey 3 times, killing her. Following the shooting, Grayson was fired from the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, among other charges. I know a lot of UNIA members have been waiting on a statement from the High Executive Committee of the UNIA-ACL as Minister of Information for the entire UNIA. I am also a member of the HEC and spoke to our President General personally. Here's a statement which I support 100%. So it's a statement from President General Michael Duncan. My brothers and sisters, UNIA mourns the death of Sister Sonya Massey. We demand justice for such a horrific crime. As a community, we want to have faith that the police department is here to protect us with a well-trained and unprejudiced mindset. But history shows us that for the Black community, we cannot expect such things to take place. Far too long, way too many incidents have shown us that the Black community will not get treated the same as other cultures and races. There's a reason why you do not see or hear these issues in the Asian community. You don't see or hear these things happen in the Jewish community. We must demand justice, but more importantly, we must unite to protect ourselves and our community. As Marcus Garvey, the founder of the UNIA-ACL, stated, everywhere he went, Black people were on the bottom. Until we as a people come together with an agenda to uplift ourselves with education, economics, institutions, etc., we will continue to let this beast of an oppressor kill us, disrespect us, abuse us, and keep us at his mercy. I ask that you join in the fight to unify our people under the flag of the UNIA and under the colors of the red, the black, and green. Join us to fight for liberty and justice. Until we truly unify, we are just pawns in the game. This police officer should be thrown under the cell, but as we all know, the system does not justly punish crimes of the police on Black people. It is our duty to make sure justice will be given for our sister Sonya Massey, but it's also our duty to unify and show strength in our community so that these things will stop happening. Join us. Let's make a change. Sincerely, Michael R. Duncan, President General of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Communities League. Questions, comments on official statement from the UNIA on our sister Sonya Massey?
How
Raise
far
your hand.
is
Go ahead, sister.
no? I was just gonna ask, so how far is this message gonna be spread?
As far as we spread it, as far as we spread it personally. So yes, we have to. It's up to us to push it. I'm not sure if we can depend on any form of mainstream media. It will be, our personal media relationships that we have developed and can promote. One thing that I will say, I am proud of our leadership for having a statement and making a public statement. But that is a good question as to how it will be pushed and promoted. The answer to that I would say is each of us has to push and promote this ourselves. So as a matter of fact, I'll share the link in the chat. That's one of the best ways for us to do that. It's a kind of long link, but send it to your email, share it through email, share it social media. That is how we will get the message out there. It's on the UNIA webpage. So the UNIA is doing their job to push it. We as members, we have to push the message as well. Any other questions, comments on Sonya Massey?
Those groups that he cited, the Jews and Chinese, they got people to come stand up for them. They got countries behind them.
Yes, sir. So
that's where we're lacking. We don't have anybody to come stand up for us. They don't have anybody to answer to when it comes to us.
That's great. Yes, absolutely right. You're absolutely right. When other quote unquote immigrants come here, they have the backing of their entire nation. Whereas we are a people that are somewhat lost. You know, we don't have necessarily a Ghana or a Nigeria or particular country that, you know, we can go to the ambassador or embassy and say, hey, you know, we're being mistreated. But partially that's why the UNIA was so successful here in the United States, because we didn't have these options and these alternatives. So Mr. Garvey had to create them. Anyone else? Great observation, Brother Malik. But yes, we have to build, and that is the vision of the UNIA, is such that we don't have to deal with this. We can have the same and even better, stronger representation than other countries. You know, any African, no matter where they are, can have representation through the UNIA to make sure they are respected and protected. And that's in our aims and objects. Anyone else on the statement for Sister Sonya Massey?
Raise first. Raise
Yes,
first.
yes.
Yes, I have defined explanation of what happened to Sister Massey Massey on my website as well. I also have a breakdown of possible actions or reactions that could take place if things like this here continue. So you might want to take a look at my website. Also, I posted on the chat the establishment of the League of Nations versus the United Nations, and on my website, I'm set up as a sovereign defense website for our sovereignty. So it's important, if you want to know how to proceed from here, possibly to review the website. And if you have any questions, you can always call me or email me or whatever you have to do. But I think my website is self-explanatory, and a lot of our issues should be presented in the United Nations at this time as well. I had asked a sister, I don't know if I name, Sister Belinda, that we needed to form a protest in front of the United Nations pertaining to such matters as this here, and a lot of our other civil rights being violated. And it'd be a good time before the election where Trump or either Kamala Harris would get in office. It would be a good time if we could do it before then, because we don't know the outcome of that election. But these are just different suggestions of ways that we could proceed to gain proper justice, calling ourselves sovereign, by protesting to and in front of the United Nations to make sure that we as a people are represented. The rest of the world knows what we are going through. In this way, we can also do a link on my website called Unification of Member Nations, which we should reach out to other nations and see if they will help us as well. But the best way right now to do that would be to also protest in front of the United Nations if that's at all possible. Peace and race first. My website is not helpful. USA Legislations People.bravesites.com. Peace and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. And the United Nations headquarters, that's in New York. Is that correct? Well,
yes, it is. It's New York City, but I think it goes from like 41st Street or 31st, something like that, on First Avenue, all the way up to about 54th Street or so. It's a long stretch, but it's on the east side of New York, First Avenue, and it's accessible by any people who want to go there. We could petition the United Nations. I have various means of contacting the United Nations on my website. We could go there anytime and protest. Other nations have done it. you know, we could get the proper requirements, what have you, or whatever we have to do, you know, to protest. But I think this deserves this in the stoppage of such things as the murdering and the violating of our civil rights deserves a protest in front of the United Nations instead of us talking about we don't have no nations to back us up. If the rest of the world knows our plight, we might be surprised who would come to our aid. And I also have a link on my website, bringgglobalawareness.website. I'm going to put it in the chat. But those are some nations that may also come to our aid. But we need to let the world know about this, and we need to perform an outrage pertaining to this so that things such as this here and the violation of our rights will come to an end, and we could send a message to Donald Trump that whatever he does, he will not violate our rights or let people just kill us and walk all over us like he intends to do with Project 2025, Peace and Race First. Again, my website is not helpful, USA Legislation People.bravesites.com. Peace and Race First.
Race first.
First, Dr. Shem. Yeah, we'll again, we're here in Atlanta. We will stay in touch with our New York division. Any support that we can provide through New York or requested by New York, we will definitely do our best to answer that call. Thank you, Dr. Shams. So that is the official UNIA statement on Sister Massey. Sorry, I just closed it out. Sonya Massey. Next update that we have, everyone should already be aware of. I'm going to share my screen. If you're not aware, I sent a couple notices in tonight's email. Garvey Day is coming up, less than a month away. We will be at the Shrine of the Black Madonna for the 15th annual Marcus Garvey Day celebration. August 17th is Marcus Garvey's birthday, so a very special Garvey Day. This year, we'll have DJ Ross Irate, we'll have Egbe Iguma drummers, and our main speaker for this Garvey Day will be Mukasa Ricks, also known as Willie Ricks. Mukasa Dada, I forgot his other names, but do y'all know who Willie Ricks is or Mukasa Ricks is? Do y'all know him?
Yeah, I've heard him speak a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
No, you're not, Brother Najee?
No.
Got you. Thank you for that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up one of my favorite pictures of him. I actually got a copy of it on my wall, in my office, but I'll pull it up. It's about. I don't even know how to pull up that picture. Oh, I found it. Yeah, pretty much. So he's a contemporary of Dr. King, more so Stokely Carmichael. So this is him in his younger days. Dr. King, Stokely Carmichael, and that's Brother Mukasa Ricks. This is the picture that we got, for our flyer. But he's the brother that created the term Black Power. Stokely Carmichael popularized it, but it was Willie Ricks, Mukasa Ricks, that actually created the term. This is the actual picture that I got. Oh, man, I didn't want to do all that. Yeah, that's one. But yeah, he came up same time around Stokely Carmichael, Dr. King. He's obviously a young brother. Stokely Carmichael was a young brother at the time as well, but yeah, so he's a contemporary, more so with Stokely Carmichael, around the same age as Stokely Carmichael.
Yeah, Kwame Ture was in with SNCC at the time, so he was still a student.
Okay. You talking about Kwame Ture or Brother Mukasa Ricks?
Stokely.
Okay, I would think they both.
So yeah, they might have been around the same age.
And to my understanding, Mukasa also has history with Morehouse College. I don't know how all of that works, because I thought Stokely Carmichael was like I guess he was in the South. He was they were trying to get votes like in the South, like Mississippi and stuff, but I don't know exactly where. But anyway, he's a great speaker, great leader. Personally, I value these brothers, these sisters. I feel like we're losing our elders faster than we realize, and we don't know how much longer we'll have these great individuals. So I want to make sure we give our elders an opportunity and make sure we have a record again of supporting and promoting our elders while they're here. Brother Mukasa Ricks, I'm definitely looking forward to. He's a fiery, passionate brother. Not necessarily, I'm trying to eloquent, whatever, if you want to say that. But he gets to the point. He gets the message across that Africa must unite in order to be free. So, Brother Willie Ricks, Brother Mukasa Ricks will be our main speaker.
Will his speech be recorded?
Great question. Brother Najee asking the good questions. Look at him, man. Officers.
I would like to, I know I won't be there, but I would like to, hear.
No, officers. No. Look. Let me take a step back, because officers and officers that are here. That's why officers really don't like to be here, because I be calling people out. I call us all out. So when they're not here, they don't really have to deal with it. But officers, we talked about this coming out of Garvey Day last year. We were saying, there were people there promoting and videotaping, and they were able to promote the event for themselves, but we, as a division, we didn't have anyone dedicated to that responsibility. And we're coming around a year later, and it looks like we're in the same situation where we have not made documenting the event a priority. Am I right or am I wrong on that? And Brother Malik, unfortunately, you're one of our most veteran members at this time. Attorney Imhotep, I think y'all two may be the only two that were around when we had that discussion.
Would you be?
This was coming out of Garvey Day last year, so like August, September last year, we were.
Yeah, because I said I was going to photograph, and Brother Eric was supposed to video. That was the last talk. But I can wear my GoPro on my chest and walk around.
We're gonna need everybody to kind of step up, pull out your phones, go live, taking pictures. We don't have anyone dedicated. We can try to, maybe executive meeting again. I guess, Brother Art, somebody, if you can make that an item for executive meeting, recording Garvey Day. We need somebody to take responsibility for that.
Yeah,
I'll step up and say as much as I can. Just to let you know what's going on.
Brother Art, I know you're not going to be here, but to make sure that we as a body address the concern. So from a recording standpoint, make sure that note is brought up at executive meeting.
Yes, sir. I will do that.
Sister Cecily, you got something in the chat? Okay, got you. Okay. Sister Cecily, we'll talk at executive meeting. So on that briefly, promotions. Brother James, again, availability. If we're not here, if we're not having these discussions, if we're not talking about what needs to be promoted, we're not able to promote, we're not able to document. So, Sister Cecily, we may need you to help with our promotions based on some of the comments you put in the chat. So Garvey Day, we'll promote that again. We'll be able to meet in August once as a mass meeting. So we'll, on August 11th, we'll have a mass meeting and we'll again discuss Garvey Day, promote Garvey Day, and we'll have Garvey Day on the 17th of August. Any questions or comments on Garvey Day? Any questions, comments? Garvey Day, Atlanta, 2024, Shrine of the Black Madonna, 12 to 6 p.m.
Race first.
Race first, Baba James.
I want to say if you have any intentions on participating in Garvey Day this year, it's that time to show out for real. It's time to show up for Garvey. It's time to show up for African nationalism. It's time to show up for our unified Black businesses that we have available. It's a time to come out and get to know other members. It's a time to bring your family along and all those people that aren't members. Because, the purpose of this day for us as a division is definitely to recruit.
Yes, sir.
So take those opportunities to volunteer any way you can to participate in Marcus Garvey Day. Race first.
Race first. Thank you. I kind of noticed we don't have a contact number on the flyer, but that may be an issue. But at any rate, still promote. We are still looking for vendors and we are still looking for entertainment as well. Dang, that no number is kind of killing me. Yes, Brother Najee, you're a little low.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit, yes.
Did Brother Gerald, I know he said he wanted to set up the booth for the smoothies. I don't know if he got in contact with you on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's locked in. Yeah, he's good to go. We got 3 vendors already, including Brother Gerald.
Okay, and how many vendors total? Because I do know other people that they make DMOS gels and other things like that. But how many total vendors would you like to give them?
We're looking at 15 for the UNIA, so that gives us, we've got 12 more vendor slots available, depending on the size of the vendors. One of the vendors we were looking at may be oversized, but right now we're looking at 12 10 by 10 spaces.
Okay.
12 additional, 15 total.
Okay, I'll be reaching back out to you. I'll be acting around. I do know people that would probably be interested in doing that, but I'll reach back out.
Got you. Vending fee, $100 for merchandise, $200 for food, half off for active members. All right, Garvey Day. Please support, promote, and yeah, it's the biggest day for us. I can't overstate it, the importance of it, and this is on Mr. Garvey's birthday, so I shouldn't have to say much to a Garveyite as to the importance of that day. So we have to do what we can. This is what Division 421 has been able to put together to honor Mr. Garvey. And again, as Baba James said, the key way we try to honor Mr. Garvey here in Atlanta is through active membership. So our goal that day is to bring 100 plus members into the organization as active members. Any questions, comments on Garvey Day? No questions, comments on Garvey Day. Okay. 6:51. I've only got a couple more updates. Then we'll go to member share. Next Thursday, this coming Thursday, we just talked about the 5 requirements to establish a government. We said on August 1st, 1920, our ancestors were able to exercise the plebiscite. And that is something that we will commemorate this coming Thursday. Myself, as well as First Vice President and President of Division 429 Chicago, Shaka Barak, and Brother Clyde Banks. So it'll be similar to what we did for July 20th to commemorate the 110th anniversary of the founding of the UNIA. August 1st, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll have a brief commemoration of the plebiscite, and Brother Shaka would like to open a discussion as to in regards to leadership for our people. We know that there's an upcoming election, Kamala Harris against Trump, as well as the upcoming election for the UNIA. So it's an opportunity for us to discuss what we want from the United States, if that's a thing, as well as from United States leadership, as well as what we want from UNIA leadership. And Brother Shaka sent out a statement. Let's see if I'm still sharing. Yeah, I'm sharing. Brother Shaka sent out a statement that I will share. Well, this is for NBN. Hold on. This is President. Yeah, here we go. Can you and I support Kamala Harris for U.S. president? So he's taking the position of support for Kamala Harris. Not to say that we shouldn't, whether we should or, not to say that, we definitely shouldn't support Trump for obvious reasons, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But this is what the Thursday is about, is kind of providing an open discussion on that topic. UNIA Division 421 and 429 will look closely at Vice President Kamala Harris, the candidate for U.S. president. Kamala Devi Harris was born October 20th, 1964, Oakland, California. Her parents met at college and were attending civil rights marches. Her father was born in Jamaica, while her mother was born in India. Her father and mother divorced when she was 5 years old. Her mother moved to Quebec, Canada, when she was 12. Harris graduated from Montreal area high school. Some say Kamala is split between being Indian and African descent. The fact is, Kamala has always identified with being Black and African descent and of African descent. One reason is that although she is light-skinned in a crowd of whites, she stands out as Black. Second, she has racial pride and self-love. Let us remember that she attended Howard University. In her book, The Truths We Hold, 2019, An American Journey, she said of Howard, "This is heaven." She said of Howard, "This is heaven." Oh, Howard, the school. "This is heaven. There were hundreds of people and everyone liked me." She became an Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority sister at Howard. As a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority incorporated, the first Divine Nine Black sorority, she has not only seen support from her sorors, but also many other Black Greek letter organizations. They are Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Harris earned a law degree from the University of California. Harris did not start out dating white boys. African-American Montel Williams wrote, "Kamala Harris and I briefly dated about 20 years ago when we were both single. So what? I have a great respect for Senator Harris Montel, a television talk show personality who, as he stated, was single, and yet he didn't offer to marry Kamala Harris. Harris also dated the African American Willie Brown from 1994 to 1995. Brown is the former San Francisco mayor and California State Assembly Speaker. As state speaker, Brown appointed Harris to the California Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board and the Medical Assistance Commission. Harris didn't run for an elected office until 8 years after their affair. Brown and his wife had been separated for 13 years, but he would not divorce her to marry Harris. Often Black men are the ones who push Black women into the arms of white men. In 2017, Harris married a white American Jew, Doug Emhoff, whose former wife was Kirsten Emhoff. They had divorced in 2008. She and Harris co-parented 2 children, Cole and Ella Emhoff. The same stepchildren were there with her during Harris' inauguration. And then these are some positive things for Kamala Harris, or in support for Kamala Harris. So that is a position that Brother Shaka is bringing. I actually plan to bring a counter position to Kamala Harris, but again, not a support for Trump, but I just think we should, look at both sides of Kamala Harris. So any questions on the upcoming plebiscite celebration and discussion for leadership? Anybody say something? No. All right, so you should have that flyer that went out today. What else was there? Brother Malik, you said you sent something. I think that was the last thing. You sent it to... You might have sent it to UNIA. Also orientation. Orientation was on Saturday. Preparing for the exam. The exam will be the first 2 weeks of August. So August 3rd and August 10th, they'll have the exam for the orientation. Brother Malik, I did not receive.
John C.
Let's see.
The John C. Hargrove, Gmail.
Yeah. 621. Last email I got was at 621.
It should say Nation Building Sciences for the title.
We may have to come back to that for the sake of time.
All right.
Any questions, comments for myself or for any other officers before we move to member share? Questions for...
See, Sister Cecily said we should give Dr. Shams time and space to teach us a few lessons.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. We reserve. Dr. Shams has been patient, and the 5th Sunday of September, he will have a dedicated meeting, dedicated time for him to go further in depth on some of his teachings. So 5th Sunday in September.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll get going with member share. As brothers, we should understand we have to be good listeners. We allow our sisters. Well, hold on, Sister Diane, I see you jumped on. Anything that you wanted to say on behalf of Second Lady Vice President or Education Coordinator?
Just glad to be here. Sorry I had to hop on late today. Nothing new to share at this time.
Okay. I've already promoted and they're doing a great job on Tuesday, race first study groups. So everyone should be getting those invitation emails. So thank you, Second Lady Vice President.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing anyone who has not joined and wish to join. We still have time.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to member share. And we know, brothers, we have to be good listeners, and we allow our sisters to speak first. So first sister, we'll call on Miss R. Harris.
Hi, good afternoon, evening.
Greetings, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm new here, of course, as you can see, to the group, but I came across the group through the collective Black People's Movement and got the newsletter, and I was trying to connect with their meeting, although I did see yours too, but I could hardly distinguish between what meetings was going on when. So tonight I made myself available, but I see not early enough because you started a little early. So, but I'm glad I was able to jump on anyway to get a sense of what the organization is about, which is very interesting, very intriguing. And I knew there was some type of collaboration going, but I did not understand how things were connected. So I'm getting a better sense of that to kind of then feel my way and understand where I might fit in with participating. I do want to ask you about what you mentioned about orientation and study groups.
Yes.
And I'd like to know more about when that happens or when the next one is. Because if I am to do an orientation and if there is a test coming up August 3rd, I don't think I would be ready for any testing.
I understand.
So,
Understand.
yeah.
And that's why we hopefully my officers are understanding the importance of ongoing courses. As long as we are bringing in new people, we should have continuing programs. Some people are joining or learning about the organization at the tail end of one program, and we'll need to have another program. The orientation takes place on Saturdays at 8 p.m. We just finished about 15 weeks with orientation.
Okay.
And we usually do about 3 orientations per year. 2 or 3 per year.
Okay.
And then the study group and the orientation is from our parent body. So that is our national leadership wants to have, or a standardized orientation for all divisions, no matter where you are.
So those are live then? They're not recorded?
Yes, they're live on Zoom. Yes, just like this.
Okay.
And then our study groups, those are local to Division 421. Those take place every Tuesday, currently being hosted by our education coordinator, Sister Diane. We do record those videos to our YouTube page, so those recordings are accessible. We're working on, Sister Diane, this is our first year going through the entire text in one session. So we haven't necessarily developed a final exam, but we have developed some quiz questions for each of the particular chapters.
Okay. And do you have a roster of everyone in this particular group? 421?
A roster of the Division 421 body?
Yes.
Yes, we
like to know who's who or who's teaching when or.
Yes, we do. I don't know if you saw, let me see. don't know if you saw our slide where I was talking about our executive body.
Yes, I think I did.
So this is our executive body. I didn't know, well, when you say a roster of membership, we have 480 registered members, but everything goes through our executive body. So these are the people that you want to know: presidents, vice presidents, office coordinators. These are the individuals that you would be in contact with.
Okay, so I think what I'm missing then is a membership for this body or this organization.
Got you.
I think I'm missing that.
Got you. And that was the first thing that you said was the connection between the Collective Black People Movement and the UNIA.
Yeah.
The Collective Black People Movement was founded by Ross Marvin and some brothers and sisters here in Atlanta in, I believe, 1994, with the intentions or the motto of no other people should have more information on African people than African people have on themselves. So Ross Marvin developed it to be a database, a collective database of Africans throughout the world, and organizations, as well as what he calls STIR, Skills, Talents, and Intelligence Revolution. So a documentation of every individual skills, talents, and intelligence, and how they can be applied, how we can work together. That's the CBPM.
Okay, I got it.
The CBPM in 2009 was recruited by the Universal Negro Improvement Association to create a division here in Atlanta. So that is what we are the division of the Universal Negro Improvement Association that was founded here in Atlanta in 2009. But the Universal Negro Improvement Association itself goes back to 1914, founded by Marcus Garvey in Jamaica. So there's a sisterhood between the CBPM and Division 421 Atlanta. Our division name is the Dr. Julius Nyeri CBPM Division 421 of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. So the 7 members that it takes to found a UNIA division came out of the Collective Black People Movement here in Atlanta. So they're 2 separate groups and organizations, but we rely and depend upon each other for our survival.
Understood. Okay, well put. Thank you for explaining that.
Not a problem.
And so if you would direct me to a membership link for you.
Yes.
That would be great.
If you could drop your email in the chat, and I'll get you that information hopefully this evening.
Okay.
I'll pass out. Thank you, Sister Miss Harris.
Yeah, my first name is a little different. My first name is Reverly, like Beverly, and it's spelled a little different, but it sounds just like Beverly. Most people end up calling me Rev or Miss Rev. So that's why I don't put my full name out there, because I have to explain it all the time. So it's okay. But I am putting my email in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Rev. All right. Greetings, President Ross. I see you jumped on.
Yes, greetings, President John, and greetings, family. Calling in from Kingston, Jamaica. Going through the town now, heading over, taking care of some things, go see my mother-in-law and everything else, you know. Hope the family is doing good. Hope everybody's doing good. I'll be back in Atlanta tomorrow afternoon. But, you know, so I have to tune in on the meeting. I just jump in. Sorry, I come in late still. But everything's going good here in Jamaica. Hurricane Beryl didn't hit Kingston too bad, but in the country in St. Elizabeth, it did come down with some damage and everything. I hear say some people still don't have electricity, you know, but I think it's okay.
Wow.
Thank you for being here, President Ross. I told everybody you were out. I didn't tell them where you were, but thank you for calling in and sharing your energy.
Right. And greetings to Sister Reverly. She connected with him a month ago or so. So greetings. I'm glad to see her on the UNIA call, and greetings to everyone.
Thank you, Brother Ross. Good evening to you. Thank you.
Good evening. Yes, yes. All right. I'm here listening in President John from out of Kingston, Jamaica. And y'all will see me this week coming up.
Thank you, President Ross.
Yes, President John. And thanks for the explanation on the difference with CBPM. And yeah, man, CBPM and UNIA, you know.
I did a good
CBPM. 1995 we started the CBPM, and 421 is formed from 7 CBPM members come together and form UNIA 421 in 2009, you know. But give thanks for the breakdown.
Thank you for the verification. You know,
yes, sir.
We gotta know our history. You know, so
true.
That's
all right. I'm going back on mute, so I'm here. You know.
Thank you, President Ross.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's Miss Reverly. Next sister that I saw, Sister Patricia. Good evening, Sister Patricia. Sister Patricia, you there? Okay.
Hello.
Greetings, Sister Patricia.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Hello.
Yes.
You can. Oh, I'm having a lot of connection problems here. I'm in Chicago, Division 401.
All right.
And for whatever reason, between my cell phone and my computer, my connectivity is just off. And so I'm missing a hand. I'm so sorry. What did you want from me at this moment?
No,
I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. This portion of our meetings, we call it member share. We just allow. We just want to make sure that everyone that came to our meetings has an opportunity to speak. If there's something that you want to share in regards to what we've discussed, or if it's something that we haven't discussed, this is just an opportunity for everyone to share whatever is on their heart.
Okay. Well, having not heard much of what you said, I was interested in attending today's meeting because of the topic, which was about the requirements of what established government, I suppose. And I'm sorry that I missed those 5 requirements. So, in my mind, I think I'll be able to research that. When we're dealing with membership issues, one of my concerns is that I'm just learning, and I'm an elder, by the way, I'm just learning from experience that in our organizations, while people are really interested in what we're going to be doing for the broader community, they're also interested in how they as individuals are going to benefit. And I just know that oftentimes our members, whether it be for loans or whatever. And so I'm interested in a government that is functioning, is that its primary interest is really to the support that it gives to its members, and then the support that it gives to the broader community. And I do understand that, technically speaking, whether you are a dues-paying member or not, as long as you are of African ancestry, then you are considered a member but my experience has just been that people like to know what you're also doing to help support the uplift of the members inside. So from the government standpoint, I'm really interested in that. So since you gave me that moment to say that, I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Sister Patricia.
Was I heard?
Yes, you were. You broke up a little bit, but I want to recap or try to recap to answer because you had a question in there. Was the question in essence, what is the government doing for the people?
Well, the question is not to you. The question would be for all of us in our branches as we're providing service and support in our branches. Oftentimes we'll fundraise and then we'll use some of that money to support broader community efforts. But we know that there are many within our membership who have personal issues.
I see what you mean.
And I just don't see where that formally, we have some individual supporters who will give to individuals, but as a group, it seems to me that the community would want to know, how are you going to support me in my uplift? I guess that's what I'm saying. How do you support your dues-paying members? And then how do we support? Because the broader community will be supported once we support our dues-paying members. So this is not a question. This is a statement that I was just going to be passing around, even within my own division at some point.
Understand.
Okay.
Understand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very valid statement. Something that we've even discussed here in Atlanta in regards to our charitable efforts. We will give a lot to the outside community, to our people by, members by race, but sometimes we overlook the active members that are contributing to our ability to give charity. So that's a very valid statement that we should all consider. What are we doing for our communities? One of the things that we try to do, or we think is important locally here in Atlanta, from a executive body standpoint, is the financial portion of it. So locally, one of the things that we've been discussing and looking into is how to improve the credit of our officers primarily, but once we understand it and master it, how to apply that to our membership in general. So that's one small aspect of giving back and making sure that what we do in the UNIA is beneficial to those that contribute to the UNIA.
Yes, that was a good example. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, sister. And we will record our meetings, so this will be available in the future, where I try to go through an explanation of the 5 requirements, but briefly for notes, and you can discuss this with. Are you with 401 or 429 in Chicago?
401.
401. Brother Marua is your president, correct?
Yes.
So Brother Marua is familiar with the 5 requirements to establish your government. But in our history, we study the First International Convention of the Negro Peoples of the World, which took place from August 1st to August 31st, 1920 in Harlem. The first requirement is a plebiscite. That's a public declaration We looked up this word. Let me pull it up, pull up the definition. I like to be exact. We want to be right and exact. So first requirement is a plebiscite. Plebiscite is a vote by which the people of an entire county or district, or in our regard, a society or organization, express an opinion for or against a proposal, especially on a choice of government or ruler. So this was a statement, a declaration for us to govern ourselves. So plebiscite is the first requirement to establish a government. Second requirement is the declaration. Every nation or government has a written declaration. For us in the UNIA, our declaration consists of 12 complaints and 54 declarations as to why we wish to govern ourselves and how we plan to govern ourselves. So the second requirement is the declaration. The third requirement is a flag. Dr. Tony Martin also says that we have an anthem. Not all nations and governments have that, but we not only have a flag, but we have an anthem. But every nation in the world, even if they don't have an anthem, they'll have a flag. Our flag was presented to us August 15th, 1920, during the first International Convention. It's the red, black, and green flag. So that's the third requirement. Fourth requirement to establish a government is a constitution. And we looked at our UNIA Constitution, which very plainly states what it is for. Constitution and Book of Laws is made for the government of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. So every government has a document that states how that government functions, and that document is usually called a constitution. But the UNIA-ACL, as of July 1918, we have had our constitution. And the last requirement, the fifth requirement, which will take a little bit more time to validate and prove, is the recognition from other governments. But as we study in Race First by Dr. Tony Martin, as well as other historians, there were UNIA branches throughout the world. And we had relationships with each of these nations, and we had ambassadors and embassies in these nations. So recognition from other governments, I believe the number that has been given is 46, but we have recognition from at least 46 different nations. And thereby, under these 5 requirements, the UNIA-ACL government was officially established.
Okay, I appreciate you reviewing that. And I'm going to do further review. And I do believe that my president has covered this in the past. We haven't reviewed it lately, but we have covered this in the past. And I guess just for me, like this is more of our external image, you know, and our ability to be recognized by other governments. And so I got that part. I'm just, for me, governments also not only represent the people, which is what this gives us license to do, but it also takes care of its people, you know, and takes care of some of its basic needs. And that would be more of the internal workings.
Yes,
and I just would like to see us either give equal time to these internal workings or to even stress that a little bit more, because I think that would have some bearing on our being able to increase our membership. Yes, because if you helped me and my family in any supportive way, like help me to better figure out or learn how to better educate my children, then I'm going to get my neighbors.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And so it needs to be.
No,
okay.
go ahead.
Okay. But thank you. Sorry that you took the time to review this like this. I'm sorry, but
no. You
look, you gave me
very valid
platform. Here's take advantage of it.
Yes, you're fine. Okay. You're fine, and you're absolutely right. we've used the term hollow as a body, as an organization, as a government. We have a lot of expectations, but when people come to the movement, what do we have to provide to our people? So that's a very valid question that we, here in Atlanta, as well as Chicago, our leadership, New York, Philadelphia, all areas of the UNIA have to answer that question as to what we are able to provide for our people. We consider ourselves a government. To our sister's point, which is very true, a government is able to provide for its people. So we have to step up to that bar. Thank you, Sister Patricia.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Very good points from our Chicago family. Would any other sisters on the line that did not get a chance to share before we go to our brothers? Any sisters any sisters that did not get a chance to share before we go to our brothers? Okay. Thank you, sisters, and thank you, brothers, for being patient. First brother we'll bring in Dr. Shams, longtime supporter, always one of the first on the call. Greetings, Dr. Shams out of Brooklyn.
Race first. Yes. I just want to back up a lot of what's being said for this evening. A lot of the things that we recognize, are okay, but it's the things that we don't recognize sometimes, and the things that we do or don't do that can help or hurt us worse than anything that we know. They say, what? There's no harm in not knowing. There's a lot of harm in not knowing. In fact, Hosea 4:6 says God's people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. And I would just like to ask that people stop by my website, visit it, and don't ignore it, but because there's a lot of valuable, important information there. And we definitely need to start a protest. I want this message to go to the executive body. We need a protest in front of the United Nations, and we need to stop saying what nations we don't have to aid us and what nations we do have to aid us. We don't know, because we have not put ourselves out there publicly enough like that yet. But with a protest in front of the United Nations, so the world can know what we're going through as a people pertaining to our rights and our lives. Like it is said, Black lives do matter, so we need to put ourselves forward so that people can know the plights that we're going through. And I'm quite sure that there are those out there who trivialize or feel that we're not united. We're so divided. We're fragmented. They don't know who to go to or who to help or how they can help. But if we come together and we protest as an organization, as a government, I'm quite sure we can shed the light on a lot of help that we have out there that can come to our aid as far as our lives and our rights are concerned. And that's the purpose of my website. It's a sovereign defense website. It has on there laws. It has on there a lot of opportunities, businesses, business opportunities, a lot of things, a lot of other websites that our people have. It's almost an extension of what we have here, but we don't have enough being presented as far as what our people are actually offering or connecting enough with our people, or speaking about connecting enough with our people, or reaching out enough. So a protest would be in order so that our lives can become known to the world and become more important to those who can and will help us before the election coming up in November. October is early voting for some places, but the general elections in November. We don't want Trump back in, but we need to protect ourselves in case he does go ahead and win, which we hope is unlikely. We pray is unlikely, but it's a possibility. So we need to prepare ourselves for that. I want the protest to go to the executive body as a suggestion, and I want us to get ready organized. For those who cannot participate in the protest, on my website, I have ways we can contact the United Nations about our concerns, and we should get busy. Contact the United Nations as much as possible before, during, and after the protest takes place, for our lives and our rights that are being violated constantly by the so-called U.S. system. My website is not helpful, USA Legislations People.braysites.com. That's not helpful, USA Legislations People.braysites.com. I have on there my email address in various different places. I have a few different email addresses, but I try to monitor them and see who's responding. I will put my main email address in the chat, which is shams, the number 7, saves @gmail.com. That's shams, 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 the number 7, saves, SAVES @gmail.com. Shams, the number 7, saves @gmail.com. For those who want to call me for not understanding what I'm saying here or have any other questions, any other concerns, my phone number is area code 1917-500-1699. 1917-500-1699. This is why I asked that my website be put on the back of my ID card as well when I receive my ID card from our organization and government, because it helps protect me and it helps protect the site. It helps protect our people all together. Thank you very much. Peace and race first.
Peace and race
Dr.
first.
Shams, I was going to ask for the new people if you could put your email, Gmail and phone in the chat, please.
Yes, ma'am. Peace and race first.
Peace and race first.
All right, thank you, brothers and sisters, for your patience. We will keep moving with our brothers. Next brother will bring in a longtime member here at Division 421, Baba James. Greetings, Baba James.
Race first, family. How's everybody doing tonight?
Race first, doing well.
Great. I have plenty to share. So much. But we're gonna just start with again, we got Garvey Day coming up next month. If you have any time that you can contribute to this effort, if it's through your social media, if it's through people you meet, if you can print up the flyer and put it at work, whatever you can do to invite and bring people out to support Marcus Garvey's birthday and their flight will always be greatly appreciated. I believe that with all the things going on in the world, it's always time for us to unify. But when it comes to politics, being a member of the UNIA, it's difficult for me to even care about what's going on politically with them. I would like to concentrate more on what we can do politically for ourselves to better our situation within our division and our communication with our leadership. We always have the opportunity to live by example, because as a UNIA division, as long as we're operating within the rules, we can do amazing things. Yes, it's difficult for me to participate in the system of oppression because it requires a lot of asking the right people, smoothing the right people, knowing the right people, and having a network. Well, since that's so important, take the time to realize how many people you actually have as contacts in your phone and how many of them are members of our UNIA division or some UNIA division. And if you find that you don't have at least 100 out of the at least 500 contacts that you have in your phone, I'm hoping that you spend a lot of time this coming up on Garvey Day, reaching out to people that you love and care about and letting them know how much you support the UNIA-ACL. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Baba James. Anything you want to share with the brothers and sisters on the Kemet Club meeting space?
I'm actually here with a representative of the Kemet Club for the Black Achievement Fund. And if anything should be said on their behalf, I believe it should come from her. Her name is Sister Shonda Freeman. And you can give her a moment of your time. She'll let you know how you can be in contact and be involved.
Thank you.
Peace and blessings. How is everybody? Race first, right? I've been listening to the discussion, to the meeting. So this has been definitely an honor and a privilege for me as well. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we were supposed to be there this week. We're gonna look at trying to be there in next on the 11th of August will be our next opportunity.
Oh, okay. What's gonna be happening on the 11th of August? Like you talking about
a mass meeting, same thing we did tonight, but just trying to have some physical people at the Kemet Club.
Oh, that would be so great. I would love to meet you all face to face. Definitely got to meet President John. You know, I'm here with
Baba James.
And it's been a pleasure. Again? So my name is Shonda Freeman. They call me Sister Shonda Freeman, right? And I am a proud member of the national worldwide organization called the Black Achievement Fund. If you want more information, the website is baf.solutions, and you can get all of the answers there because our mission is simple. It's about economic freedom and achievement. And the way we're going to get that is by getting 10 million of us, pretty brown skinned, indigenous, African people, plus our allies, you get what I'm saying? Plus our allies who also want to contribute whatever and contribute $9 a month so we can make $90 million a month, which will equate to over $1 billion a year, which would be funds for us and our communities and our businesses and our organizations. And we are doing such that even without the 10 million, because we've got just over a little 3,000 contributing active members, contributing $9 a month, but we've been able to accomplish so much since 2020, which is when we became live and in action. And since 2020, we've been able to acquire our own 8 acres of land down in Toomsboro, Georgia. And we're developing houses in the community there. We have our own members-only clubhouse in the city of East Point that you guys will be able to see firsthand August 11th. And then we've been able to give people in the community scholarships, grants, you get what I'm saying, for the opportunities for their businesses, with the nonprofits, all of that. You know, we do big things where we're all doing grand things. And it's just all about us coming together on that first principle of Kwanzaa, which is unity. So thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to speak. And again, please go visit BAF.solutions and you'll definitely get all of that plus.
Thank you, sister. Yeah, we dropped the link in the chat, so we will be sharing.
Show love. Appreciate you.
Yeah, BAF, great organization, doing a lot of great things here locally in Atlanta and as well as other areas in the nation. So we are working to continue to develop our relationship with the UNIA and Black Achievement Fund.
What date was that we're meeting down there?
We're trying to meet on the 11th, so that'll be the second Sunday of August. I was trying to meet with Brother Baba James today, actually, as a surprise to kind of get, just to get a feel for it. But we got to push it back to the 11th.
All right.
I'd also like to add that the Black Achievement Fund's founder is a member of our division. His name is Brother Aki, and this is ways in which our UNI membership are doing things. However, we need to work very, very hard at knowing what we all are doing.
Yes, that's true.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you. All right. That is Baba James. We'll keep it moving with our brothers. 7:41. We're decent on time. Next brother. Look like we got some brothers coming in. Next brother we'll go to longtime supporter and member of Atlanta Division 421, Brother Andrew Campbell. Greetings, Brother Andrew.
Greetings. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we hear you. We hear you.
Yeah, greetings and good evening, family. Yeah, I just had a historical question. I think, is it okay to ask it in this forum regarding the UNA? There's a couple questions. First, I met a sister, and she told me that so I was asking her about membership, and if she was interested in joining the UNI and whatnot, and she said, well, she's not going to join any organization with the name Negro in it. So how would you have responded to that, Brother John? Because she kind of stumped me a little bit.
We're not changing the name. I understand that is a concern with some of our people, the name. However, historically, I must argue that this was a name that Marcus Garvey was proud of. Booker T. Washington.
Designation at the time, just like the NAACP, was basically just the letters now, not even the actual words. It's just the letters being used at this time. But yeah, the Negro was the terminologies of the time.
Yeah. And even in our declarations of rights, that's one of the things that we stated. We had to fight, to have capital N in Negro. It used to be a lowercase n. So the fact that we fought for that and achieved that, that became a symbol of pride and a small victory. So, again, from the history, it is what it is. This is what we were proud to call ourselves at the time in which we made some of the greatest accomplishments of our racial history. The name is not changing. If the name is an issue, I don't know what to, if that's going to keep us from working together for our global liberation, is the fact that we use the word Negro, or Mr. Garvey chose the word Negro. I feel like we have bigger issues to prioritize, but that's just my opinion. Name's not changing.
Can I add to it, President John?
Go ahead, President Ross. Help me out.
Yeah. Basically, some people, when it comes to the UNIA, they say they don't support Negro, but in other things, they support Negro, like the United Negro, the College Fund.
Oh, yeah. They don't got no problem with that one.
Yeah, they ain't got no problem with the Negro College Fund. Also, there's some sisters that carry themselves with the name Negro too, like a national organization. But basically, she never learned in school, Brother Andrew. That sister never learned in school that there's three races: the Negroid, the Caucasoid, and the Mongoloid. Okay, so Negroid is a race of people. So she cannot say she's not a Negroid, because we all learn in school, say that the three races that exist on the earth is Negroid people, people of African descent, the Caucasoid European people, and the Mongoloid. So she never learned that in school. Okay. So Negroid basically was like how you hear most Black people refer to themselves in today's time in America as being Black. Okay. 100 years ago, back in the 1920s, the name for us as a people was Negroid people, because that is our race. Okay. So there's nothing wrong about Negroid, and there's nothing negative about Negroid. Okay. It's just true. She's educated in a time, this time, I wonder if she called herself Black or she called herself African. Okay. Because Black is a new term for the Negroid. But we got to look at things from a historical perspective, as President John said. Negroid was a name that the majority of African people in America referred themselves to back in the 1920s, Negroid. And if she don't understand that, then she don't understand history. Okay. And if she don't understand that Negroid is something that we should be proud of because it's the name of our race. We are the Negroid people. There's no race called Black people. Okay. Well, we're African people. Okay. So Negroid, Black has replaced the term Negroid, and now you can see it going to African American. So I'm glad it's going back to Africa still. You know, we're calling ourselves Africans and thing, but there's no shame in the game because there's other organizations, national organizations in the United States that today use the word Negroid, and they're not connected to Marcus Garvey, but the College Fund, I forget the sister name, the sisters organization that use the word Negroid, but these are some popular organizations and things, and we just need to be more educated as a people that the foundation of races are Negroid, Caucasoid. That's like a European saying, I don't want to be called a Caucasoid or Caucasian, where the word Caucasian come from Caucasoid, right? So it don't matter if you want to call it or not, say that you're a Caucasoid or a Caucasian, but if you accept it or not, you're still a Caucasian because that's the definition. So it doesn't matter if you want to accept Negroid or not. Negroid describes the race of people that come from out of Africa. So you don't have to accept it, but you're still part of it because that's the definition. So that's what I want to add.
National Council of Negro Women.
That's what the organization, thank you, Brother Malik. National Council of Negro Women. And that's very popular in the United States.
Yeah, and those sisters move mountains.
Yes, they're doing great works. They don't have no problem with the word Negroid. It's only when it comes to Garvey do people have problem with the word Negroid.
Booker T started the Negro Business League, which the last one, the Atlanta Business League. Now they just changed it to Atlanta Business League. But yeah, that was the original name when they started in DC.
True. Thank you for that, Malik. The National Council of Negro Women, that's the organization, the sisters organization I was thinking about. And that's what they call themselves proudly today. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Look at the College Fund, United Negro College Fund. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That's an excuse to not, organize and fight. If we're just
that's all it is. You get locked, Mama?
Yeah, Mom.
Okay.
Ross, you still off mute. I was trying to find I'll try to find some of the teachings that Mr. Garvey had in regards to the word Negro, because even in his time, towards the end of his life, the word Negro became not as approved as it was earlier, but he still had the same position, similar to what President Ross just said.
And one other thing I'd like to add, President John, with our UNIA government, it was established with the name Negroid. Okay, UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association. So all the legal works that our ancestors did in 1920, the 5 things that our ancestors did to establish the government, it was underneath the name Negroid. So we can't change that, the name of the government, because then we're going to have to in legal terms, we'd have to redo the whole government. We can't change it to Universal Black Improvement Association, because that's not what the government was established as. Right. It was established as UNIA. So for us to throw away Negroid, basically we're throwing away our government.
Right.
I think the problem is not so much the term. I think it's just the negative connotation that's been linked. But, you know, I think that's what it is, but we can't be fazed by that. We still have to just remember our mission.
Yeah.
You're right, Sister Diane, because in this time of year, people say, oh, he's just a Negroid or that old Negroid or whatever, in a negative way, you know, and people don't want to be associated with that. But there's nothing negative in Negroid, okay?
That's right, the so-called N-word that, you know, but yeah, exactly.
Yep. I've been around a long time. I'm an elder in the white man's world. But to denounce the term Negro goes back to a long time argument between ourselves. Each generation wants to establish themselves as the new. But the new doesn't realize it has to rely on the old. And it has to be incorporated into the new thinking. Race first.
Race first. It's not about the name, it's more about the mission. Not the name, but the purpose, the reason behind the mission and the cause. What is it doing for our people? Why do we have such a thing in the first place? It's not the name, it's the mission and the purpose behind the mission, more so than the name. Don't worry about the name, worry about the mission. Peace and race first.
Race first.
Can I make a quick comment? Because I hear that one a lot. This is Baba James.
Where Baba James?
And what I normally say is, when I find someone who doesn't identify themselves as a Negro, I say, well, look into the name. If you look at Negroes as some people who are bad or in a bad situation, then you want improvement for those Negroes, right? You want to improve the situation for the Negroes and bring them to a place where you might be based on what you might be called. But I, as a Negro, feel like I need improvement as well as the people who identify with being a Negro. So it shouldn't make a difference, because if you don't agree that you're a Negro, then you agree that Negroes need improvement, because you're looking at it as a bad thing. And anybody in a bad situation that looks like you should be in a better one. Race first.
Race first. Yeah, I may have to put some information together to give Mr. Garvey's position around the term Negro. But yes, it's just a part of history. To my knowledge, yeah, I mean, it translates literally to black. you know, so we're okay with the English term black, but we're not okay with the Spanish term Negro, which literally means the same thing.
Race first. Some people don't like the name black, like the Moors. Act 6 says we're neither Negro, black, nor colored. But the thing is, it's like I said, it's not about the name. It's about the mission and the purpose and the reason behind the mission. Don't worry about the name. Worry about what we're doing and the reason why we're doing it. Black Lives Matter. So, you know, Moorish Americans call themselves only Moors or Moorish Americans. They don't identify with Negro. They don't identify with black. They don't identify with colored. They don't identify with none of that. But a lot of us are here because we know the mission, the reason, and the purpose behind the mission is more important than the name. Peace and race first.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's about unity. We got to look for ways to unify more than we look for ways to divide. We can, you know, call ourselves, we can come up with 30 different names for ourselves, but how does that help our goal of unity? That's the question we have to ask. So, Brother Andrew, anything else that you wanted to share? I can't.
Greetings. No, I'm cool. I appreciate it, Brother John.
Thank you.
And the family.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Blessings.
All right. We'll keep moving with our brothers. Next brother we'll call on another long-time member, supporter, elder here in Atlanta, Brother Ormond. Greetings, Brother Ormond.
Greetings, Brother John. I have to apologize for joining late in the conversation, so I'm a bit unaware of what preceded me. But I did hear the conversation about the Negro, that this person would not join the organization because they couldn't associate with themselves with the term Negro. Mm-hmm. But that's, I should say, a problem for that particular person. Mm-hmm. And it might be too a means of throwing a wrench in the machinery to have us go off course. But it did benefit us to hear the different explanations, and especially with you, Brother John, and Ross Marvin. And I appreciate the information that you brought. I did hear a bit of Sister Shauna on there from the Black Achievement Fund. I'm a member of the Black Achievement Fund too, even though it basically is nominal because of time and energy. I limit myself, but I'm glad to hear that we will be supping together. We'll be gathering together because that's a good form of a motion toward unity. So I say let's keep it moving forward. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Brother Ormond, for your continued guidance over the years.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll keep moving with our brothers. Next brother that we got, Chaplain Mitchell. Greetings, Chaplain Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. Peace and race first. Brother John, could you catch me up on what the discussion was about at the beginning of the meeting? Because I think I missed it.
No problem. Tonight's meeting was focused on the 5 requirements to establish a government.
Okay.
As we wrap up the month of July, we prepare for the month of Mosiah, August. We should remember the accomplishments of our ancestors during the first international conventions of the Negro peoples of the world, in which we presented the Plebiscite on August 1st, the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World on August 13th, the red, black, and green flag on August 15th. 2 years prior, the Constitution was put into effect July of 1918. And we also spoke on the recognition of other governments, but the 5 requirements to establish the government of the UNIA.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that recap of everything. There were just a few things that I was going to mention because I heard some individuals discussing having a problem with using Negro and things of the nature. And Ross Marvin did a phenomenal job explaining the history of the word Negro and how it referred to the Negroid people, which those were people that came from Africa. It just seems to me that the most frustrating thing is we will find anything as a race of people to discourage a mission. We will find any excuse. How about would there be an excuse if we wanted to form a sovereign a nation? Would we fight over the name? Would someone have a problem with us having our own country? It's just it goes on and on and on. We find an excuse for everything. We need to be focusing on having a sovereign nation. We're focusing on things such as the name of the movement. Look at what Marcus Garvey already formed for us. He laid the foundation, having the government. The only thing that we're missing is a sovereign nation.
Yes,
But again, there will probably be a fight about what the name should be. Because everybody's gonna come up and say, "Hey, I don't want to be called Black. I don't want to be called African." So it's an excuse after excuse. When are we going to get a grip on it? When? That is the question. When are we going to get a grip on it? Because every other culture, every other race has a grip on it. But we're the only ones that don't have that grip yet. When are we going to get a grip on it? When are we going to have to say, you know what? We're going to form our own sovereign nation. We already have the blueprint. We already have the legal documents. That's the only piece that we're missing. But the problem is ourselves. We come up with every excuse why we can't do something. It's an excuse or some type of argument. It's just amazing to me. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. When are we going to stop? That's all I had to say. Race first.
Thank you, Chaplain Mitchell.
Race first.
Race first.
Yeah, small correction. We are sovereign. We are sovereign. I have a sovereign defense website, but we are sovereign right here. Without my website, we are sovereign. Marcus Mosiah Garvey establishes as being a sovereign government. Piece of race first.
Race first. I found the essay that I was looking for that where Marcus Garvey gives his opinions on this discussion. So I'll save that till we get through all of the brothers. I think I saw one brother that just joined recently. Let's see if there's anybody prior to him. I think you are the last one. Brother Cornelius, is there anything that you wanted to share?
Hey, brothers and sisters, greetings.
Greetings.
I don't have anything special to share. I found myself with some time and I just decided to check and see if y'all was still here. I just wanted to join the meeting and hear what I could.
Yes, sir.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you for being here, brother. Okay. Were there any other brothers that did not get a chance to share? Everyone got a chance to share? Okay. If you would, in regards to this discussion about the term Negro, as Garveyites, as members of the UNIA, I think our primary resource should be the words of Mr. Garvey himself. So I don't know if this essay will answer all of the questions about the sentiment or the feelings behind the word Negro, but I know that it definitely touches on some of the points. Let's see. All right, this essay, too close. Essay was written in the Black Man magazine, London, February 1939. So this is Elder Garvey. The Negro and the African. Most of the present leaders of the Negro race are very much obsessed over the term or designation Negro. Just as years ago and even now, they were very much provoked over the term African. So again, it's a constant, it always comes up. What do we call ourselves? Once certain leaders held up their noses against being called African, and that according to the white man's use of the African was regarded as a man-eating animal who had no ability, no worldview, and no ambition. Even up to now, a large number of Negroes still believe this description of the African. So much so that the great masses of the people that are led in the wilderness as to whether they are to be called Negroes, Africans, Ethiopians, Hamites, colored people, and a dozen other names. Sounds very familiar. And again, it's the words of Mr. Garvey, 1939. It is really sad that a healthy, possessing race like the African or Negro race should among its leaders fail to appreciate the real name by which the people may be described and identified as being separate and distinct from other groups. The term African is as healthy and original as nature can make it, but unfortunately, the white man has invaded the land of Africa and has within recent years so controlled it as to assume of himself the name and title of African. When you look at people like Elon Musk, he was born in South Africa. He considers himself an African. Are we going to say, I don't see Africa fighting against that. So Mr. Garvey saying we got to be careful. Well, just continue. Which brings up the question as to who is the African. The proud, unchanging African is the Black man that everybody knows. He is a native of Africa. He is the hero of the ages, but according to military and political trend of the domination, we have all kinds of Africans endeavoring to inflict their recognition upon the real African who has not really thought out the seriousness of this change. The African is the man of Africa. He is black in skin. His ethnic origin can never change, but conditions have so enlarged themselves through which scores of millions of the race have been forcibly removed from Africa to other portions of the world that a more general name has been given and accepted as a description that includes both the African and his descendants abroad, and that term is Negro. The term Negro is descriptive of the race. It is a strong word and it singles out the Black man. Whenever anyone uses the term Negro, others know exactly who or what he means. To use the term African today is to still leave an impression of doubt as to who you mean, whether it's the South African, West African, or a member of any other section of the continent who may not be Black. So he's talking about North African, yeah. To use the term Negro universally marks the man without any difficulty. This is a term that is adopted by progressive movements because it is healthy, it is strong, it explains itself. But like the African of old, there are hundreds of Negro leaders who desire to ignore and to look down upon the term Negro. They fight over the use of the term and devour a tremendous amount of time on this non-essential, whilst opening their ranks to attacks from all quarters. We are among those who adopt and hold fast to the use of the term Negro. There is nothing in it for us to despise, but all in it for us to fight for and ennoble. The trouble over the name is not over the name itself, but what is made of the name. It would be a good thing if Negro leaders could come could become sensible and realize that in fighting for the preservation of the Negro race, they are engaged in a lofty undertaking, much more lofty than the fight for its destruction. As far as we are concerned, our battle shall be to strengthen the cause of the Negro everywhere. The African Negro, the American Negro, the West Indian Negro must realize that they are all of one ethnic origin. To be a Negro, you must not be colored. You must be a Negro. When we talk of the colored races, we are talking of something indefinite. When we talk of the Negro race, we have a mind in a positive and clear understanding of what we are driving at. The Black man has no other name that is recognized today than that of Negro. Everybody thinks of him as such only when others desire to deceive and flatter him is he referred to otherwise. The thing for him to do, therefore, is to become proud of his name, to strengthen and dignify it. Like the Aryan, he must be proud in his race, while other men are waging a conflict in the world for the ascending of their particular race group. The Negro must not be backward. He should face the world as he is, make his fight one of solidarity, not over the foolish suggestions. He is not of this race or that race and may be called anything. So again, this is February 1939. We should all know Mr. Garvey transitioned June 10th of 1940. So this is a little over a year prior to his transition, what I would consider some of Garvey's later, you can call it more mature or whatever, but later positions on the term Negro. And you're not going to find much writings or teachings of Mr. Garvey much later after February 1939. One thing we got to understand, by the time of 1940, Mr. Garvey had undergone, or in the year of 1940, Mr. Garvey suffers his first stroke. So 1940, he's pretty much throughout the entire year recovering from a stroke until his unfortunate passing. So 1939 was Mr. Garvey's last full year of coherent expression. And this is what he says in regards to the term Negro. So this is my position as a Garveyite. I allow Mr. Garvey to speak on the term Negro, and I agree with his position. Any questions, comments on Mr. Garvey's position, or on position on the term Negro?
Race first.
Race first, Dr.
It's like I said, it's not about the name. It's more about the mission and the reason and the purpose behind the mission. It's not the name at all. We can argue about the name forever. I agree also. Peace and race first.
Okay. Yes, sir. And to Sister Diane, I think she said it earlier, it's what we have been taught as to what that word or name means. So as Mr. Garvey even says here, like there was a time when we were taught that the term African meant a savage or backwards. And our people look down on that term. Oh, I ain't no African. I'm a Negro. I'm a colored man. But now, 2024, more of us are leaning towards the term African. But does that mean that we have to look down on the term of Negro? So just be careful of propaganda that's not produced by us, that teaches us, because English is not our language. So the definitions of these words, we don't always have the power to define what they mean. But as Mr. Garvey said, we have the ability to ennoble our race and ennoble the term of a Negro. If there aren't any questions, 15 after, go ahead. This is Essay in the Black Man, London, February 1939. I have it in Marcus Garvey, UNIA Papers, the year 1939. So this is volume 7. But the original document was in Black Man magazine, February 1939.
I came in late, so not sure why this arose, but I was just wondering, is this pertaining to the name of our organization, UNIA?
Yes, yes. We've the concern, as we go out and continue to work with our people, expose the UNIA to our people, the name Universal Negro Improvement Association. When people hear that name, they may say, I like the ideals, I like what you all are trying to do, but I don't like the word Negro. I am not a Negro. My people are not Negroes. I did not come from Negro blood. So it's the disdain for the term Negro that we were addressing, that I was addressing with that essay.
Okay. I was just from his essay there, and it's very relevant still to today.
Yes, sir.
I found it interesting. Somewhere in there, he said something along the lines of, if you use the word colored, you can be talking to anybody, about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem related to the problem I always have with that term that nowadays people use with that people of color. I would say I ain't no people of color because that's pertaining to any old body.
Yep.
I use the term black for myself or African American, but what he said about color is basically the same thing. That's the issue with that term, people of color.
Yes. It's about being clear, when we say minority, you could be talking about anybody. When you say, and as he said, even African today is not a specific identifier. Negro is very clear, and that may be part of the reason why we don't like it, because it is very clear on the group of people that it's speaking about.
Also, when you look at the word people of color, and you look at a lot of Dr. Claude Anderson's study, he said that the word people of color has come to mean everybody, and also women, and not just Black women. So as a result of using that word, people of color, a lot of programs and things that were quote unquote set up for Black people end up going to Hispanics and white women and all other races except for Black people. So we also have to be careful with that word, people of color, because now it means everybody who is not white.
Yes. All right. If there aren't any other questions on our discussion about the term Negro, I would like to prepare to close out. We will close out with our Ethiopian anthem. As we said, third requirement is a flag. In addition to our flag, we also have an anthem. So we should know our anthem, and we should be proud of our anthem. So with that, I will share that. So as we close.
Ethiopia, the land of our fathers, the land where the gods love to be. As storm cloud at night suddenly gathers, our armies come rushing to thee. We must in the fight be victorious. must souls work to clean. For us will the victory be glorious, when led by the red, black, and green. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance to meet the foe. Advance, advance to meet the foe. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. Ethiopia, the tyrant's falling, who smote thee upon thy knees, and thy children are lustily calling from over the distant seas. Jehovah, the Great One, has heard us, has noted our sighs and our tears. With the spirit of love, he has stirred us to be one through the coming years. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance to meet the foe. Advance, advance to meet the foe. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. O Jehovah, thou God of ages, grant unto us sons that flee the wisdom thou gave to thy sages when Israel was sore in need. Thy voice through the tempest has spoken. Ethiopia shall stretch forth the hand. By thee shall our fetters be broken, and heaven bless our dear fatherland. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance to meet the foe. Advance, advance to meet the foe. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. With the might of the red, the black, and the green.
I am so glad that they are recording.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute. Thank you, brothers and sisters. We'll close out with our motto and our slogan. Baba James, you want to do us the honors? All right. Brother Malik, are you available?
Ready to put your fist in the air?
Sure.
One God.
One God.
One
name.
One aim.
One destiny.
One
destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Race
Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish
Race
what
first.
you will.
Yes, sir, Dr. Shell.
Race
Race
first.
first.
Great job, everybody.
Race first.
One piece.
Race first.